Good evening, Paul. 3-1 defeat at the hands of AFC Dunstable. Did your lads play well enough today to get anything from the game?
It's a strange old game. Dan thought first half, bar scoring, we were very good. Bar three awful defensive errors and mix-ups. You take those out of the equation, and we were head and shoulders the better side. It's a real strange old game. So yeah, we went in at half-time 3-0 down from three awful goals, and we've got a big problem at the moment, or the players have got a big problem at the moment, because we're not performing as well as we should. But that said, I was really pleased with the first half, bar three mistakes. Second half we've huffed and puffed again, and we were the better side second half, and we've come away from home. We've been the better side for 90 minutes, and we've got beat. Some may say that's unlucky, but listen, we're not performing well enough. Those players that are in that dressing room, they should be playing better than what they are at the moment, and we're not, and that's the bottom line. And sometimes it's very, very important. We've got a fantastic setup, we've got great owners, we do things professionally, and sometimes the players have got to start standing up and taking responsibility for what they've got to do. You know, it's them that walk onto that pitch, and some may have got a little bit comfortable in their surroundings just recently, and some cracks have appeared. But listen, I'll make sure those cracks are filled, and I'll be making the changes that I need to make.
Last season it was unusual for us to concede 3, if not 4 goals against Corby. Defensively, what do we need to do differently, do you think?
Straight away, we've got to communicate, Dan. That communication at the moment is dreadful. The chat, the talk, the information that we're passing on is nowhere near good enough. And it's not as if they're not experienced players. They're players that have been around the block and played at good levels. So it's disappointing. And like I said, I think some have got a little bit comfy in the surroundings. I think some are taking it for granted just how good the facilities and what we've got here, and without really putting any substance to their performances. And that's it really. You look at the squad and you look at it on paper, and it's fantastic. But unless those boys cross that line and perform to how good they're supposed to be, then you run the risk of losing games. And they're not performing at the moment, and that's the bottom line. And until they start performing, we'll continue to struggle. So yeah, there'll be some changes made. There's only so long that a manager can be loyal to players, and a large proportion of that group in there I've been very loyal to. They're not performing, and I'll make changes.
Like you said, we enjoyed a good portion of the possession today, both first and second half, but created very few chances. Do you feel like there's a need for change there, or is it the introduction of Richard Gregory and Simeon Coburn coming back?
Yeah, Richard Gregory and Simeon Coburn, no disrespect to anybody, they're the best 2 strikers in this league, bottom line, and we're missing them hugely, and that was always going to be the case. But there's still that much quality in that dressing room to winning games of football. You can't hinge everything on those 2 missing. Yes, they're big misses for us, but there's still enough to go and win games, and we're not. Like I said, Dan, it stands out a country mile to me that the players aren't performing well enough, and they're not taking responsibility for those performances. Well, I've been telling them that for a while now, and it hasn't sunk in. It's got to that point now where I can't tell them any longer. So like I said to you, over the next week, might take 2 weeks, might take 3, might take a month, because I'll only bring players in that I feel will fit into what we're doing, how I run things, but I'm seriously going to bring some new bodies in, and as quickly as I can, making sure that they're the right people.
Like you said, maybe 2 or 3 weeks things will be a little bit different, but depending on what happens today with Boris's speech, we might not be here in 2 or 3 weeks. But looking towards Tuesday, Bedford, is it away again?
Yes.
What are we looking at there?
I wish he'd locked us down at 1 o'clock today. No, really. Another tough game. You know, Bedford are a side that want to be challenging for the league title, and they'll be loving coming up against us at the moment, because we're not quite right. So listen, the players have had their hardest speech that I've ever put to a set of players just in that dressing room then. So they've got one shot at Tuesday in showing me that the club means something to them, that I mean something to them. They've got one shot at it Tuesday, because after that I'll struggle to get anything in for Tuesday. So it'll be the same sort of group that have performed recently. They've got one shot at showing me that they deserve to remain at the football club, because at the moment there's a hell of a lot of them on the chopping block.
And just a quick update on the injury news. Simeon Coburn's been down here today, but not named in the team sheet. Is he available?
No, not yet. Probably 2 weeks away, hopefully. Best case, maybe. Greg's might be next week. And Reece trained Thursday, Reece Hewitt. So he's seen a specialist with his hip, and we can tentatively start pushing him on again. So they're not a million miles away, but still a little bit away.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Thanks for
Okay,
joining
Dan,
us.
thanks, mate.